Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee with Net 226. Today I want to go over Packet Tracer 6.8.1, which this packet tracer looks really easy and short, but you just got to be careful doing it because they have a little bit different setup here that took a little bit time to understand. All right, but looking at my topology, I have. Well, we'll start at the internet. There's an internet right there. You have an outside PC and a web server. Cisco.pka, and then you have a router 2, which is your edge router for this, whole big 3 LANs right here. All right, so that's your edge router. It has an outside interface on this network. All right, R2 has 3 WAN connections and 1 LAN connection. All right, so you have LAN 2 there, which is 192.168.20/24. You have a 10.0 24 and you have a 30.024. And then also another thing you're going to do is you're going to set up a static NAT for this local. You could think of this as being your DMZ or demilitarized zone, because this right here is just letting people outside and people from the inside too to go to this web server. So it's a little bit different, and also you're going to be doing all your configurations on. You're only going to configure router 2, all right? And it looks kind of weird because you would think you have to translate this network to this outside network, and then this inside network to outside network, and so on, but not really the way they have it set up. Now I'll show you. This is like an older configuration, but I already did a show run on this, and if you see right here, it's actually running RIP version 2. It has like passive interfaces set up for FE00. It has a network, the 10.0.0 network, and the 192.168.10 network. All right, and stuff like that. But anyways, that setup, we're not going to configure router 1, router 2, or router 1 and router 3. So let's go through this thing. Now, addressing table, just take a look at that. Pretty standard, I believe. This is your outside interface. That's your outside network, but this is your outside interface. You have a fast. That's actually fast Ethernet 000. Or, well, actually, it's not. That must be in there wrong. Matter of fact, I've never even heard of a fast Ethernet 000. I've heard of 00s. Let's see. Yeah, that might just be a typo. Usually with the newer routers, they came up with 3-digit. But anyways. All right, so FA00s are inside. So this is going that way to LAN 2. And let's see, router 2. S000 is going that way. Well, I take that. No, I take that. Yep, S000 is going that way. S010 is going this way. Okay, and then PCs, pretty standard. Local PKA is that. All right. So in this lab, you will configure a router with Dynamic Nat with PAT. This will translate addresses from the 3 internal LANs to a single outside address. In addition, you will configure static NAT to translate an internal server address to an outside address, which is local.pka, excuse me. Okay, use a named ACL to permit addresses from LAN 1, LAN 2, and LAN 3 to be translated. Specify the LAN in this order. All right, use the name R2NAT, and it has to be all caps, just like it is, so it'll grade it correctly. The name you use must match this name exactly. Okay, so let's click on R2, and I'm going to go to global config and IP access. So access list for this one. Let's see, standard R2 NAT. Okay, and then we're going to permit those 3, let's see, and it says do them in order. So let me do like this. Permit 192.168.10.0, and then wildcard masks. Since they're all 24s. So instead of 255, 255, 255, 255, 0, it's 0, 0, 0, 255. 0.0.0.255. Alright, and then I will just up arrow because the only thing that's going to change on this next one is the 20 is the third octet, and then the third one is going to be a 30 for the third octet. Okay. So let's see. That should do that. Alright, create a NAT pool named R2 pool. This pool should use the first address from the 209.165.202.128 /30 address space. The pool name you use must match this name exactly. All translated addresses must use this address as their outside address. Okay, and when they say the first address, they're saying the first host address. Okay, so 209.165.202, 128 is the network, so you have 129 and 130, and then 131 is the broadcast, so 129. All right, so I'm going to exit out of this. Okay, so IP NAT pool, it has to be R2POL, all caps, 209.165.202.129, whoops, 129, and then 209.65.202.129, and we're doing this in overload. Oh. Let's see. Oh no, I'm just setting up the pool right now. 129. And then I need a subnet mask. Mask of backslash 30 is a 255, 255, 255, 252. Okay. Configure NAT with the ACL and NAT pool. Okay, so I want to, let's see, IP NAT inside source list is what we use there. Source list is R2NAT, and the pool is going to be R2 pool. Which R2 pool, it's a pool but only has one address we're using. Alright, and where did it say? Where did it say? Is it going to overload? Create a NAT, pool must use. Trying to see where it says. Did it say it has to overload? Let me put that. Well, I guess Pat, yeah. Alright, we'll put that down. Alright, and configure NAT. Alright, so we did that. Configure static NAT to map the local PKA inside address to a second address from the 29165. To the second address, so that'll be a 130 will be that IP address. So IP NAT inside source static 192.168.20.24, and the outside is going to be 209.165.202.130, and I believe that's right. All right. Okay. And then we have to actually assign the inside and outside interfaces. All right, so configure the interfaces that will participate in NAT. So we know the outside is going to be this one. So interface, what is that? Serial 0, 1, 0. Zero and 0. That would be IP Nat. And I can only pick outside or inside, so that's outside. And then I'll just go in order. Well, actually, the interface is it FE00? Nope. F00. Okay, F00. Okay, IP Nat inside. Okay, so interface 0, 0. We can do 0, 0, 0. IP Nat inside. And then finally, interface 0, 0, 1. IP Nat inside. Alright, now looks like we got it. Because we got 100. Alright, cool. Alright, configure the interfaces that participate in NAT. Now it doesn't say to do it, but especially after you're configuring all this stuff, you could try to ping the interface, or actually ping the server, or go to the web and try to do local.pka. Alright, does it from there. It's weird they call that local.pka because that obviously you're outside you're in the internet and you're going local. Alright. Usually if it's just an inside like domain, you can name it local or .local. Local.pka. Alright, goes there. And finally, let's do PC1. Okay, so we're good. Alright, so that's it. I don't make this video any longer than it needs to be, but yeah, they didn't give you a lot of information on the configuration steps, but now Neticat has really good instructions of how to do this. But pretty much just setting up figuring out what networks you're going to have to use. Alright, and then naming the what was it? Naming the access list, that, and make sure you're using the correct case, and set up your pool, and make sure you don't try to use, I don't even know if it would work if you use the network address, but the pool should use the first address from this address space, but then they kind of like not really curveball, but if you're not thinking about it, just remember that's the network address, so you can't use that. 129 is the first usable address, so that's what they mean. The pool name you use must match the name exactly, so if you didn't do uppercase, it didn't work. And all translated addresses must use this address as their outside address. Excuse me. Alright, and then match the NAT with the ACL in the NAT pool, and configure the NAT, just that static inside to outside, or outside to inside address, and then configure all the interfaces, and that's it. Alright. Well, good luck on this, and let me know if you have any problems, but you should be good to go. And there'll be no Word document to submit since there's no questions on here. So just submit your .pka file and submit your completion, which it shows, congratulations, your name, unless you have some kind of errors in there. All right, and if you do, just go ahead and fix them. All right, thanks for watching.